It was just another day at the office until one moment completely changed the course of an employee's life. Imagine this. You're a dedicated worker, going about your job, doing everything you've been trained to do. You followed the rules, adhered to every guideline, and made sure to tick all the boxes. But then something unexpected happens. A customer walks in, frustrated, confused, and needing help with a situation that doesn't quite fit the mold of your company's rigid policies. You know it's going to take something extra, something beyond the typical script, to make a difference. And you, being the compassionate person you are, decide to go the extra mile. What you don't expect is for that small act of kindness, that decision to genuinely help someone in need, to lead to your downfall. Just a few hours later, the same company that you've given your all to, that trusted you with their brand, fires you. They claim you've broken company protocol. They say you acted outside of the rules, and in their eyes, that's unforgivable. You're left standing there, stunned, confused, and suddenly without a job, all because you chose to do what you felt was right. But what happens next? What if a figure with the power to change everything notices? What if someone who knows what it means to challenge the status quo and stand up for what's right decides to intervene? Enter Elon Musk. Yes, the billionaire tech mogul, the one who's made headlines countless times for his controversial yet groundbreaking decisions. When word of this employee's firing reaches him, he doesn't just sit on the sidelines. Instead, he steps in. Musk, known for shaking up industries and thinking outside the box, sees something in this worker's story. He doesn't just see a person getting fired over a small mistake. He sees someone who truly cares about the customer, someone who understands that business isn't just about policies, it's about people. He knows what it's like to challenge norms, to take risks, and to value people who push the boundaries of what's expected. So he takes action, and what happens next? Well, it's a game changer. The worker, who thought their career was over, suddenly finds themselves back in the spotlight, not just as an employee, but as someone who has caught the attention of one of the most influential entrepreneurs of our time. What will happen now? Will this worker's life go back to normal? Or will Elon Musk's intervention spark a wave of change that reshapes everything from corporate culture to how we view customer service? But there's more to this story than just a rescue from a billionaire. What does this say about the future of work? About the way businesses treat their employees and how much power one person can have in the face of corporate systems? This story isn't just about one worker and one act of kindness. It's about all of us and the way we're willing to challenge the rules when we know something's not right. Stay tuned to find out how this story unfolds, because this isn't just about a worker getting their job back. This is about a shift in how we see business, leadership, and the human element in everything we do. But before we get to the resolution, let's dig deeper into the events leading up to this monumental turn of events. What really happened behind the scenes? And how did this all become a viral sensation, with people across the globe debating the idea of doing what's right versus following the rules? Hold tight, because the story is just getting started. The tension that had been building since the firing was palpable. It wasn't just about losing a job. It was about something much deeper, something that many workers across the world could relate to. There was a feeling that things were shifting. Corporate cultures were evolving, and more often than not, they seemed to prioritize rules over people, procedures over passion. This worker, let's call them Alex, had worked in customer service for nearly 5 years. They knew the job inside and out, everything from troubleshooting technical issues to handling irate customers. But one day, it wasn't just about a customer complaint. A woman, let's call her Sarah, came into the store with a problem. She had purchased a high-tech gadget, but it had malfunctioned shortly after she began using it. The instructions weren't clear, and Sarah, a single mom juggling multiple responsibilities, was at her wit's end. She didn't have time to read through long user manuals, and the last thing she wanted to do was go through a complicated return process. Her frustration was clear, and Alex could feel her pain. They knew that it wasn't just about fixing a broken product. It was about making this woman stay better. But the issue wasn't that simple. The company had strict policies about returns, and the system only allowed for exchanges within a certain time frame. Sarah was outside that window. Alex knew that if they followed the rules to the letter, Sarah would walk out empty-handed, no closer to a solution, and likely disappointed with the company. So Alex made a split-second decision. They decided to bypass the system and issue a return anyway, knowing full well that it could cost them their job. They reasoned that doing the right thing in this moment outweighed following the rules. Alex wasn't expecting praise or even thanks. They just wanted to make sure Sarah was treated with respect, given the understanding she deserved. What Alex didn't know was that this decision would trigger a series of events that spiraled out of control. When the store manager found out about the return, they were furious. "This is against company policy. We can't just give out exceptions like that," the manager had shouted. Alex tried to explain, but the words seemed to fall on deaf ears. The company wasn't interested in understanding the human side of the story. They were interested in maintaining control. And the final blow came when the district manager got involved. Within hours, Alex's fate was sealed. They were fired. At first, Alex didn't know what to think. The shock and disbelief made it hard to process. How could a company they had worked for so long turn their back on them over one decision? It wasn't like Alex was a repeat offender or someone with a history of breaking the rules. This wasn't an act of malice. It was an act of empathy. But the higher-ups didn't see it that way. To them, it was insubordination. To them, the rules were the rules. And that's where the story could have ended, if it weren't for one person. The news of Alex's firing quickly made its way to social media, as these things often do. One post turned into hundreds, and before long, the story was everywhere. People were outraged. How can they fire someone for helping a customer? The comments flooded in. This is exactly what's wrong with big corporations, others said. The story went viral, and the public outrage caught the attention of someone who had made a career out of shaking things up. Elon Musk. It wasn't just about his reputation as a billionaire and tech innovator. Musk had built a career on challenging the status quo, on doing things differently. He was known for upending industries, breaking conventions, and giving voice to those who were often overlooked. And when he saw the story of Alex, a worker who had been fired for helping a customer, he was not only intrigued but moved. Musk was no stranger to controversy, and he knew that the corporate world often overlooked the human element in favor of efficiency and profits. It wasn't about a simple return policy. It was about putting people first. But what could Musk really do? He wasn't the CEO of Alex's company, and this wasn't his fight in the traditional sense. Still, Musk didn't hesitate. He made a public statement calling out the absurdity of firing an employee for doing the right thing. The media exploded. News outlets were covering the story from every angle. Some called Musk's comments a publicity stunt, while others praised him for standing up for what he believed was right. Behind the scenes, Musk's team reached out to Alex. They wanted to hear their side of the story, to understand exactly what happened. Musk's office made it clear. This wasn't just about helping a customer. It was about empowering employees, recognizing their potential, and creating an environment where people could make decisions without fear of retribution. The tension reached a boiling point. Alex had become a symbol of integrity, of doing the right thing in the face of corporate bureaucracy. People everywhere were talking about the incident. Was this just a simple misunderstanding? Was the company really that rigid? Or was this the beginning of something bigger? A shift in how companies viewed their workers and their customers. Alex's phone started ringing off the hook. They had received job offers, interviews, and requests for statements. But none of that felt as important as the question burning in the back of their mind. What would Musk actually do? Would he intervene directly, or would it all fizzle out like so many other viral stories? As the days went by, the anticipation only grew. People were watching, waiting for the next move. Would Alex get their job back? Would the company acknowledge its mistake? And what kind of impact would Musk's intervention have on the future of work itself? The stakes were high, and the clock was ticking. Would the corporate machine crush this story under its weight, or would it spark a revolution? The resolution was just within reach, but the question was, would it come in time? As the days dragged on, the tension in the air was almost unbearable. People were watching the story unfold with bated breath, waiting to see if Alex would be vindicated, if their act of kindness would lead to a change in corporate culture, or if they would just be another casualty of a system that valued profits over people. Alex's phone buzzed constantly with messages and offers, but it was clear that none of that mattered. The real question was whether or not they would get their job back, and if so, under what terms. Then it happened. The unthinkable. Elon Musk didn't just make a statement or offer words of encouragement. He took action. Musk personally reached out to Alex, inviting them to his office for a private meeting. The media buzzed with speculation. What was Musk going to do? Was this all just another stunt for his personal brand, or was he genuinely trying to change the game? Alex felt both anxious and hopeful as they entered Musk's office. The room was minimalist, like something out of a science fiction movie. Sleek lines, bold design, a sense of innovation in the air. Musk himself greeted Alex with a firm handshake, his presence commanding but not intimidating. He immediately got to the point. "I've been following your story," Musk said, leaning forward in his chair. "What happened to you shouldn't have. It's a problem I see all the time in big companies, rules over people, numbers over humanity. That's not the way things should work. You took a risk for the right reason, and I respect that." For a moment, Alex couldn't speak. This was not how they'd imagined the conversation would go. Musk wasn't here to chastise them, he was here to listen. And not only listen. He was here to offer something that no one else had, a chance to turn the situation into something bigger than a personal story. "I want to help you," Musk continued. "I've got a team that's building a new project, something that focuses on customer experience and employee empowerment. You've got the kind of mindset we need. I'd like you to come work with us." It was an offer Alex never could have dreamed of, but it wasn't just about the job. It was about being part of something that valued human connection over corporate protocol. It was about making a real difference. Alex was stunned, not sure how to respond, but before they could speak, Musk added, "And don't worry about your old company. I've already made a call. They're going to reinstate you with back pay." It was a surreal moment. Alex had gone from being fired to being offered an opportunity that could change their life forever. The thought of returning to the company that had let them go wasn't ideal, but the decision to stand up for what was right had come full circle. They had done the right thing, and now they had the chance to make sure that others could do the same, without fear of losing their job. In the following weeks, the story made headlines across the world. The company that had fired Alex issued a public apology, not only reinstating them, but also pledging to review its policies on customer service and employee decision-making. The incident sparked a wider conversation about the role of compassion in business. People started asking the tough questions. Should companies really be so rigid? Shouldn't we be considering the human side of things, especially when it comes to employees who are on the front lines, making life-changing decisions for customers? For Alex, the experience was transformative. They took the job offer with Musk's team, and it didn't take long to see the impact of their work. Not only did they get to help shape a new approach to customer service, but they also became a symbol of what happens when one person's decision to act with integrity challenges the entire system. Alex wasn't just a worker, they were an advocate for change, a voice for those who believed that business could be about more than just following the rules. It could be about making the world a better place, one small act of kindness at a time. The story didn't just end with Alexa's success, it sparked something bigger. The company that had fired Alex faced backlash from its own employees and customers. New policies were introduced, ones that encouraged employees to go beyond the script, to show empathy, and to use their judgment to make decisions that benefited the customer. It was a wake-up call for corporations everywhere. Rules might be important, but humanity always has to come first. Looking back, Alex realized something important. It wasn't just about getting their job back or landing a new position with a high-profile company. It was about the power of standing up for what's right, no matter the consequences. It was about the idea that sometimes, even the smallest act of kindness can turn into something that changes the world. And for Alex, that's exactly what happened. The lesson was clear. When you put people before policies, when you make choices based on empathy, and not just procedure, you change the game. And in this case, it was one worker who did just that, proving that doing the right thing can lead to incredible, unexpected opportunities.